Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I know we've been gone for about 6 months with everything that's going on, but just to let you know, basically tonight's show is kind of like a placement, like a placeholder, like a bookmark. Let you know that we are back. We've been renewed, and we're going to continue. The format is a little bit different. I got a microphone here, and I'm doing the show by myself because they kind of moved us into a smaller studio per se. So hopefully Mark down the line will come back and join us. So people are saying, well, what there's hardly any movies playing. You can't go to the theaters. So how are you going to do a show? And I said, well, look at this little list I put together. Courtesy of streaming. There's more than enough movies. I'm going to go over this after some updates I'm going to give you first. And it's just to let you know, like, even though theaters are on hold, the whole thing is streaming has taken over. Okay, are we going to be seeing money makers, the box office? Hopefully, 2021. People love to go to theaters, so that'll come back eventually. I mean, over in China, they're releasing movies. People are going back to the theaters in China, and they're making a lot of those movies. They're making from $300 to $500 million. Okay, so people do want to go to the movies. This year, everything has just gone to streaming. A good example, Coming to America #2 with Eddie Murphy. They're supposed to be released for Christmas time, but they're going to go ahead and release it on Netflix because they still want to make it like a Christmas movie. Other movies like The Batman, Wonder Woman, Godzilla #3, Godzilla versus King Kong, should I say, and of course the James Bond, Daniel Craig. All those have been postponed to 2021. So the box office will come, alive again, you say. But in the meantime, a lot of the stuff, like, for example, Tom Hanks, the big battleship movie, Greyhound. And they decided, okay, we could take a chance and postpone it, or let's release it on Netflix or Apple or Amazon or whatever. So a couple updates. Let me get that out of the way real quick. There's more announcements to be made. I'm going to make that in the next couple of shows. This is going to be probably like part one of 2 or 3 shows just for us to catch up. So I'm going to spread the news throughout shows. I'm not going to spend the first 10, 15 minutes going over a bunch of updates. But real quick, the show gets recorded. The second Saturday in November, this show will premiere. Forget the date. And then it's going to be repeated. And then there's going to be another show in December, exactly from the studio. But in the meantime, I'll be recording more shows from from Manhattan Neighborhood Network Studios, which I do the show from. And I will be kind of like specials for YouTube, just special editions, just to catch up. I mean, I got like 4 pages. This is 2 pages. I don't know if I can squeeze all this in one 30-minute show, should I say. The show's back on once a month, and it's going to be repeated during the month. Okay, and then you'll be able to see the shows on YouTube, and I will have special editions. I'm working on another channel, the music channel. Everybody said, "Wait, what happened to your music?" More on that in the next show, but there will be another YouTube channel representing the music. Okay, and also you can find me on what you call it. You can find me on Instagram and SoundCloud. Okay, if you saw the beginning of the show, Videoland Express with your host, Frankie-san. Okay, that's the Instagram account. If you go to the YouTube page, I will have all the links and all the details further explaining that. Also, I will have the comment page. A lot of people say, you got all these old shows playing on YouTube, but we can't put any comments. Well, this show, we're going to start putting comments. So you see the show here, you go to YouTube, you write the comments, what do you, what you want me to talk about more? News or reviews or both, or then you give your opinion. What do you think about the Mandalorian? I had to put that image because that's such an attention grabber. And Star Trek, okay? So we're going to go back and forth. I'm going to have more news and updates on the next show. Top of the hour. Okay, here we go. Sean Connery passed away, 007. And people ask me, what do you think about the new James Bond movie? Well, a little news. That's been postponed about 2 or 3 times. At first, it was because they felt like they need to make the picture tighter. So there was some editing done. And then they had some extra shooting. That was the excuse. Then they had to blame blame the whole virus thing, and they kept on postponing it. Supposedly, they had some previews, and the audience did not like the movie. I don't like the storyline. Okay, there's another 007, and he's retired. What kind of nonsense is that? You know, you got to stick to the canon. But anyway, I'm not looking forward to it. You know, get rid of Daniel Craig, get a new James Bond in. Sean Connery was the best James Bond. We all agree to that. Recommended movies. Okay, I know he won the Academy Award. Best Supporting Actor for the Untouchables. If you haven't seen it, shame on you. I recommend that. For me, well, let me see what I got here. Okay, The Hunt for Red October is a personal favorite of mine. I thought he was great in that one. That also stars with a young Alex Baldwin. Okay, and Tim Curry. That's right, Frankenfurter for the Rocky Horror Show. He's in that. And another one that's really, really loved when I grew up with, The Man Who Will Be King. Okay, and that's also starred Michael Caine, who, okay, young ones, Michael Caine, of course, was Alfred in the Batman series. Okay, so check those three out. Those are the ones I definitely recommend. He did a lot of movies after James Bond. I forgot to bring the Blu-ray, but there was a movie called The Longest Day about the landing of Normandy in World War II. And that was a picture that Sean Connery did before he broke out as James Bond. So you might want to check that out. It's a small role, but, you know, that was the movie before he hit the big time. Okay. Another person passed away, Chadwick Bossman. Well, we won't see the Black Panther and the new second half of the MCU universe, whatever they call it, because now that Captain America and Iron Man retired, they're going to bring all the other ones. And Chadwick was supposed to continue with the Black Panther and the new universe, but it looks like, well, they can't do it anymore. So, movies I recommend from him, Get On Up, where he played James Brown. Oh, he nailed it. Marshall, where he played a famous attorney. And 42, where he played Jackie Robinson. 1-2 more biographies, and he would have got his Oscar. I've been saying this for 2 years now. He should have been nominated for all three of these movies. Never got the chance. 21 Bridges, his last movie. If you look carefully, you can see he's a little thin. He's a little weak. He does a lot of running, but some stunt doubles took over that. And you could tell he was not in the best shape. But I still recommend the movie 21 Bridges. Check it out, okay? It's one of these websites, Netflix, Amazon, Apple TV. It's floating out there. You get a chance, check it out. There's one more movie they postpone. When that comes out, we'll talk about that. Okay, now, Mandalorian. A lot of people are going, hey, it's just going to be about, about the little green guy? No. They're bringing a lot of cameos. Supposedly Mark Hamill. That's a rumor. Rosario Dawson, I believe. She's playing Ashok. Or Ashoka. Okay. That was a great character that was not in the original Star Wars trilogies. And I think she came from, was it Clone Wars or Rebels? But it's a great character. She's coming to life. I think Rosario Dawson's going to nail it. So they're going to, and I know. Did you see the first episode of season 2? Because there's a big spoiler. Unless you've been living on a rock. That's right. Was that Boba Fett at the end of episode 1, season 2? Well, how did he get out of that Sarlacc pit? That's what I'd like to know. But, me personally, Baby Yoda, you can't go wrong, okay? Just do the whole season about him. I mean, cute, adorable little character. Better than Rise of Skywalker. Oh, God. The last episode we did, we talked about Skywalker, and Mark said it was like the funniest comedy of the year, and I was just dull. I was just so freaking bored with it. But yes, I did buy the Blu-ray because it had a nice little booklet in it and a lot of behind-the-scenes featurettes. So I went for that, of course. I'm still a Star Wars fan to the very end, but Mandalorian makes up for it. Now let's flip the coin, and Star Trek. A lot of people got on the Discovery's case. I mean, I forget her name. The character that plays Michael, okay? Michael, Michelle, who cares about the name, Star Trek. But in Discovery, she was really great in Walking Dead, and she was supposed to be on for another season, but they offered her the Star Trek. She said, let me see, more money, I'll be the lead in my own series, and I'll be part of a great franchise. Of course. You leave Walking Dead, join Star Trek, but they never gave you the proper due. And the season 3 started off really, really good. They focus on her, and the other guy I like a lot is Doug Jones, who plays Saku, the alien captain. They made him captain. Doug Jones, he would play the amphibious creature, which won Best Picture. I forget the name. It was a remake of The Creature of Black Lagoon. But he also was in, I should have wrote this down. Okay. What's the other picture? Hellboy. Again, he played an amphibian dude. I mean, he's a tall English guy, but really skinny. He can fit in these suits and whatnot. But anyway, he's got a lead part as playing captain. Good for him. Good for her. And there's a breakout star. I forgot her name also. She's the cute little chubby redhead. And she's really making points. And also, the last episode of Star Trek for the brand new season, they brought in a new dude to help her out. They're spending a lot of the characters. At the end, you saw the rest of the crew by this tree. They go back to the Federation in San Francisco. And the rest of the crew, they do like cameos. Yes, Captain, fighting torpedoes. Not much acting there. But now they're going to flesh these characters out. They're all standing by the tree, and you can tell they're going to advance all these characters. So it's going to become more of an ensemble cast. Of course, let's not forget Michelle Yeoh. She was supposed to do that M5 153, something about the bad guys, like a Staples or something like that. World War II, Bad Nancy. So she was supposed to be a leader of that. And that was a bad idea for a show. That never happened. They gave her Discovery. Good for Michelle Yeoh. Okay. Lower Decks. Why was everybody on Star Trek's case about Lower Decks? It was hysterical. What I love about Lower Decks is it is part of the canon of the Next Generation. It's kind of like a spinoff. Even a couple characters. One of the characters, Q, showed up in one of the previous episodes. His character was kind of wasted. John Delancey did do the voice of Q. But Jonathan Frakes and Mira Sortes, they came back as Troy and Lieutenant Riker, okay? And they made fun of the characters. So, Lower Decks is supposed to be a comedy, supposed to be a parody. But what I like about it is one, the way it's written. There's two plots going on, the main plot and a subplot. All squeezed in 20, 25 minutes tops. Okay, and the writing is fast, and this dialogue is really fast and snappy. Some people said, well, it could be funnier. But not only is it supposed to be a parody, but you get to know the characters, and they keep the characters busy. It's a really busy show for a 20-minute cartoon. So, and when the jokes do happen, they are funny. But I guess, I don't know. So Star Trek fans are like, oh, you're ruining the whole franchise. Listen, it's better than nothing, okay? I find it's better than Discovery. But Discovery, this season, third season, I think they're finding their feet, you could say, so to speak. Okay, other news. Now, talk about Star Trek. Oh, Star Wars. Let's go back to Star Wars. Let's do that. We heard about Justice League. They had the premiere trailer this summer about going back to Justice League movie, going back to that, and they took all Joss Whedon's footage out, and Zack Snyder went back and finished the movie that he foresee, his vision, which was, at that time, he couldn't finish the movie. There was a death in the family. They gave him money. Warner Brothers gave him his $50 million, here's another $100. Go back to your vision and expand the movie. So we're going to get a 3, maybe 3.5 hour cut of that. And the main reason I'm mentioning that is because now Star Trek, wrong franchise. Star Wars is looking at that. I mentioned Rise of Skywalker, that they want to redo the whole friggin' trilogy to begin with. The bad mistake. They want to re-edit the last movie, Rise of Skywalker. There's a George Lucas cut out there over 3.5 hours floating out there somewhere. They're going to see how Justice League performs. It should do good. With that being said, if that works out, they will go back to Rise of Skywalker, and we will get that George Lucas cut. Okay, and this is going to be right on streaming. It's not even going to be in the movie house. As a matter of fact, HBO is also helping flip the bill for Justice League. Okay, Warner Bros. Gave them the money and said, listen, you got a place to show this, Netflix, which means the whole world can instantly see it all in one weekend instead of, putting it out on different theaters, different continents. Sometimes, Japan takes maybe like 6 months later, whatever. Boom, Netflix. I think that's a great idea. This is going to be the future for a lot of these blockbusters, believe it or not. Okay? As a matter of fact, going back to James Bond, there was there was a bidding by Netflix. They were willing to pay $600 million to show James Bond on Netflix. Skip the theaters. Just we'll pick up the tab. The producers said no. And what's the main reason? There's a lot of reasons. Read Hollywood Reporter, Variety, but doing this show for so many years is that movie is being very expensive. It would not have covered the movie cost. They're saying the movie is it's about $200-300 million. The movie is costing a lot more because of the reshoots. They went and re-edited the movie, and it's that budget. It just keep going up, and they said 600. We're not going to break even. How much this freaking thing is going to cost for a James Bond movie is ridiculous. Okay, and apparently $600 million was not going to cover it. So me personally, I think that somebody has to swallow the pill, and either the red one, or the blue one, and finally release it to Netflix. I mean, they're not going to get the money back on this one. A lot of us fans hated Spectre. I consider it the worst James Bond movie of all of them, of all the James Bond. And it was boring, and it didn't add anything to it, and the story was so cockeyed. There was a line in there where the Blofeld said, "Oh, what's the matter, James? Cuckoo?" I said, "Who wrote this shit? Get the monkey back on the typewriter, okay? Rewrite this stuff." It was awful and it was boring. And the whole subplot that Blofeld is the half brother of James Bond. What are you guys thinking? It's horrible. And they're gonna wrap that storyline up. And what's his name? Ramis, who won the Academy Award for the Freddie Mercury for Bohemian Rhapsody. Supposedly, he's related in that circle somehow. They're also saying that he's doing a repeat of Dr. No. Just rewrap this up and just get a new James Bond in there, okay? So that movie cost a lot, but Netflix was willing to pick up the bill. Now, as far as things going on Netflix, Apple. I'm actually getting an iPad before this whole virus opened, and I got a year free of Apple. So I managed to catch up. Yeah, people ask, hey, what happened to Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin Patch? It wasn't on TV. It went over to Apple TV, believe it or not. I saw that along with Return of Fraggle Rock, memories, and Snoopy in Space, hysterical. Only on Apple TV. As a matter of fact, Bruce Springsteen, me being a music fan and a musician, the documentary of Letter to You, the making of the new Bruce Springsteen album, and that's on Apple TV, which I recommend. Okay, and I also have Amazon Prime because what happened to the virus, I was ordering a lot of stuff, a lot of musical equipment and stuff like that, revamping my studio, which you will see soon. But I figured, okay, since I'm going to buy a lot of stuff, so get the shipping free. So I'm Prime Video, and boom, everything was there, including Borat number 2, I like to call it. Okay, so I'm going to start with this here a little bit of all the things I've seen and variations of all the different streaming channels. Okay, number 1 that was most watched, Hamilton. Okay, I think that's a great idea. They should definitely record more Broadway shows and put them on streaming services. Because let's face it, a lot of these shows are kind of expensive, and you're not in New York City at the time. I think it's a great idea. Let the show play out. Let it do its Broadway run, and then they go to road shows. They take the show on the road to different states. Okay, let it play out, and then show it on streaming, like Hamilton. I think that was a great idea. They preserved the stage, the whole stage play, doing maybe like 13 cameras or something like that. I thought that was fantastic. That was the most watched of the year so far. We got, have November and December. So let's just say the most watched, number 1. I got a list here, courtesy of Variety Magazine. The most watched video on demand is what it's called. I'm going to put this page on, well, not this particular page, but the link of Variety Magazine. I'm going to put that on the website once the show premieres on YouTube. And you'll see the list yourself. Borat was Borat 2, which was hysterical. If you want to see something that's politically wrong 100%, bad taste, vulgar, and what is this guy thinking? I thought it was hysterical. And number two, on the list, I definitely recommend Hamilton, Borat 2. And this one is my surprise on this list. Number three is My Spy. Saw that on Amazon. Who? What? My Spy is a goof on all the James Bond movies. Dave Bautista. And a little girl called Chloe Coleman. She was hysterical. I think she's like 10 years old, something. Uh, Dave and Chloe had such a chemistry, and they were funny. And the other one is Christine Shaw. She does a lot of voiceover work. And she had a good chemistry together with these two, especially Dave Bautista. They're supposed to be spies, and they got they're spying on a different apartment, but the little girl gets mixed up in all that. I don't want to tell you the plot. Big surprise. I'm glad this made it to number three. It's funny as hell. And it takes a little punch at the whole double 007 spy genre. A great cast, I got to admit, okay? But the chemistry between David and Chloe is so tight. I mean, that was the big surprise. And the movie is genuinely funny, so I'm glad that made it to number three. Extraction, Chris Hemsworth. Basically, body count, kick ass, and shit that blows up. Hey, what else? What else do you need? And it was such popular, it's gonna be a sequel to that. For those who just saw it, might be scratching. How can you do a sequel when everything gets blown up? But anyway, I definitely recommend it. Okay, and there will be a sequel, so that was good. Number five, I was surprised, Mulan. Okay, I wasn't crazy about the picture. Okay, it looked great, but you don't have Shuko the dragon. Why even bother? Okay, and the little bug cricket, it was with one of the soldiers. Okay, and then that played the whole romance kind of thing. It was bright, it was colorful. Some of the choreography was nice, but you can't beat the cartoon. Okay, same thing like I just saw Beauty and the Beast. I was comparing that to the live action to the original animation. The animation movie got nominated for Best Picture. The first time an animated movie from Disney got nominated for Best Picture. That was like 10 years ago, something. But they decided to redo it, and it was okay. I mean, Emma Watson wasn't bad singing. People criticize the acting. It is what it is and stuff like that. But the animation was way better. I'll be honest with you. As far as all the Disney movies are being remade, stick with the animation. I mean, Lion King was a total disaster. And I like John Favreau, who produces and directs and writes a lot of the episodes for Mandalorian. But a bad movie is just a bad movie. Okay. Oh God, Charlize Theron is a remake. Kind of the concept is Highlander. You're around forever. You die, but you're born again or whatever. Okay. Let me finish the top 10. The Trial of Chicago 7. Okay, Sacha Cohen, okay, playing Abby Hoffman. He nailed it. Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing the lawyer. A great drama. Okay, so if you're looking for a drama, Trial of Chicago 7. I'll be talking more about that in the next show. Let me see what else is over here. Okay, The Witches. Anne Hathaway playing the real mean, slithering witch. Oops, sorry about that. Movie sucked. Stick with the original back in the late 1990s or early 2000s, something like that. Just look it up on IMDb. And the animation wasn't all that good. Last but not least, okay. Let's go to number 11. Project Power. Jamie Foxx. Again, with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, another picture. They're going after guys who take pills and become like the superheroes for about 5 minutes. Definitely the whole concept is ripped off from the Fantastic Four. But until we get the new Fantastic Four and the new Marvel Universe, this is better than nothing. I mean, the whole concept is Fantastic Four. But a lot of action. And I'm glad to see one person who I worked with on The Deuce. That's the show that got my first waiver. When you become a background actor, you need 3 waivers, then you can join the union. More on the next show about that. But anyway, her name is Dominique Fishback. And I got to meet her and work with her. That was a breakout role in The Deuce. And we didn't see her for about 2 years and stuff. She finally nailed this part. She's a real sweetheart. I'm glad that she's getting parts, and she was part of this, and she really added a lot to this movie. Project Power with Jamie Foxx, I definitely recommend if you're into superheroes. I'm going to be talking more about like The Boys With Keith Urban, who plays the lead guy. That's why I see that show. There's a bunch of TV shows I haven't mentioned. I'm just trying to cover the movies for now. Um, that that Five Bloods, Spike Lee. Okay, Delroy Lindo plays the main character. It's about the soldiers in Vietnam, and they go back try to get the gold that they buried there. The war's over. They go back to Vietnam trying to get that gold. A bunch of trail and betrayal and backstabbing goes on. Delroy Lindo needs to get a Golden Globe nomination. He was tight on this one. Wow, he knocked it out of the park. And of course, Chadwick Bossman plays a flashback in the movie. It's more like a cameo, but you know, he really adds something to it because he adds to the story. Small part, but that was Chadwick, man. He can make a small part being bigger than ever. You know, it shows the power of a great actor. And last but not least, Artemis Fowl. If you're a Harry Potter fan, you might like this. I like the big giant fight in the middle. The fight this big giant. The rest of the movie kind of sucks. Okay, the whole movie was a waste of time. Okay, somebody's telling me that I got 2 minutes left. Okay. Anyway, Greyhound. Okay, that was also on the Apple TV. A lot of people. Oh, I'm glad time is up. A lot of people were kind of disappointed. I liked it a lot. I thought it was good to see a point of view of a captain going up against submarines that had like a sound of a of a creature, like a whale. Every time you see the German submarine trying to attack the battleship, I thought that was really cool. Again, I would have seen it if I didn't get Apple TV. I'm gonna take a sip and say goodbye, everybody. That's it. This is part 1 of 2 shows. Okay, I'm phasing out. Thanks for tuning in. This show will be on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, type in Videoland Express. You see the show there. This show will be repeated at MNN for November, and then we'll have another new show from MNN in December. But there will be another show, a special edition on YouTube, sometime in November. I'm not too sure which date, but you know, just type in Videoland Express on Google, and you'll see where I'm going back and forth because I really haven't figured that out yet. But MNN, this show repeat. Special edition on YouTube, a brand new show there in between these shows on MNN. And that's it. Okay, next show, more details on updates and all that. Anyway, that's it for streaming movies. Okay, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next show. But we're back. See you then.